Today, I want to talk to you about healthy versus unhealthy relationships because one of the things that I find that a lot of people struggle with is that if their current relationship is better than the last relationship they were in, or it's better than what they experienced when they were growing up, they assume that it's healthy. Do you describe your relationship like this? My relationship is 80% good, but 20% of the time it's really bad. I want you to think about some things that make the difference between healthy and unhealthy because I want you to shift your template so that you're thinking about healthy, not based on what was, but based on maybe something that you've never heard about what healthy relationships look like. So I'm going to go down this list and compare and contrast for you. So first of all, unhealthy relationships, when they're good, they're really good. But when they're bad, they're super, super bad. In healthy relationships, it's 80% good if we're using 80-20, 80% good, and 20% not as good, but still pretty good. Difference is that when you're in the unhealthy relationship where 20% of the time it's really, really bad, you're spending your time sacrificing yourself, waiting for your partner to change. That often leads to a loss of your sense of self because your well-being or your self-esteem depends on that other person's choices. And 20% of the time, they choose to be hurtful or unavailable or lack the ability to grow and be responsible for their behaviors toward you in relationship. In a healthy relationship, that 20% of the time that's not as good but still pretty good, that's when trauma responses show up. So I'm experiencing something, my partner is experiencing something, triggers from his past, triggers from my past are showing up. And when that happens, we both look at ourselves and go, okay, what is my responsibility here? And what do I need to do to make this interaction better? And then we sit in it. We wait to figure it out. We manage our own emotions. We talk about what happened that worked and what's happening that didn't work and why, so that we can problem solve it, so that the next time this mutual triggering shows up, it always does until you heal them. Both coming to it self-aware, both sacrificing mutually without any of us losing our sense of self. One of the things that happens, I think, when we're in relationships that are harmful is that we start to believe that sacrifice for a relationship means I put all of my needs on the back burner and hold my breath until things get better. Not what sacrifice in healthy relationship is. Sacrifice in healthy relationship is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about which way we should go. How do we manage this together? And maybe there are concessions, but the concessions never lead to somebody losing their sense of well-being because that simply is not acceptable in relationship. And a healthy relationship partner recognizes that and values it. In unhealthy relationships, we're waiting to grow. We're experiencing lots of suffering while we're waiting for our partner to change and be active on board with us toward making the relationship better. Healthy relationship, we challenge each other in a mutual growth environment. So when it's not so good or still pretty good, your healthy partner is looking at you as a healthy partner and expecting the best behavior, expecting to be treated well, and expecting to treat you well. So what happens is there becomes this challenging of each other that helps each other grow. It's not pushing and challenging of each other that pushes someone down when another one benefits. Thing that I hear about healthy versus unhealthy relationships is, Tamara, if I've been in all of these unhealthy relationships for my whole life, healthy is boring, especially when we first start dating. Someone who looks healthy and like they're not setting off our triggers of old abandonment wound that makes us want to attach to someone who really isn't going to be good for us. And we use bad addiction drawn to someone who we know is going to push us and 80% of the time be good to us. And then there's the 20% of the time where we try to prove our worth. Out of that, healthy relationships are not boring because of the growth. Uncover our mutually triggering situations and we're committed to growing together. That really, really pushes you. Leads to a deeper level of healthy attachment and trust and love. The unhealthy relationship, commitment that keeps you in the relationship is maybe fear of being alone, commitment to not being alone, or feeling guilty about giving up on something that's not meeting your needs. Really not the same as building a healthy bond where growth happens and trust happens and love grows deeper. So if I were to do it over again, I've had time that's been lost in unhealthy relationships, lots and lots of time. I would have sought someone from the beginning, who values personal growth, and I would have waited for conflict if their feet really follow their words. Because what really comes down to it is during the time of conflict that you can see, does a potential partner value us figuring it out together and both coming out well at the end? Or does the potential partner not have a problem with pushing your needs to the back burner so they can have a benefit? If you're looking for a way to improve your ability to attract a healthy partner by shifting your own expectations for what's healthy and what isn't, come and join me in my community, Trauma Free Nation. The link is in the description. I'm Tamara Ridge, the therapist that's been there. Thanks for watching.